Right, so I'm hoping I've got enough battery. I've just picked up the camera and it's a bit dead, but as you can see, Christian's bringing stuff down in the Unimog from a local site we can't get a truck into, so we're just bringing it down with this. I've just had a bit of a sort out, so get it all nicely stacked up. So this is the stuff I'll be using to put into cages for kiln stock. So I've got about a day's worth of small stuff that I need to put through the Palax. These are going to go in vented bags, and that's going to finish off the other depot. And then I'm going to start filling up IBCs with green, and then when I've run out of IBCs to fill, I'll start emptying the season stuff and either put it into nets or put it into vented bags. I haven't decided yet. There's no point in me putting it into vented bags now when we've still got about a month of good sunshine. So I might as well leave it outside. I say we're gonna have good sunshine, it's not very nice today, but there's no point in me putting it in the shed straight away when it can be outside in the sun. So I thought, I've got plenty of empty cages I can have a go at first. We'll have a go there, and then we'll start emptying them when we run out of cages. But some quite nice timber coming in at the moment. It's all ash, it's all very green, so as I say, it's going to go into cages to start the drying process off and reduce how much time is in the kiln this winter. I do believe I've got around 400 to 450 IBCs in total. There is quite a few that have kindling nets in and burner fuel and stuff like that, but I think I'll have 350 odd of actual product, and then as and when money allows, I'll get more and more in if we've got the space. I'm going to have to start going 4 high now to reduce how much space I'm using up. This stuff's quite a mix of small and big, which is not a problem because we've now got the Palax. I'll sift through, and while we've got the Palax on for the last bit of season stuff, I'll just carry on with that, and then we'll go back onto the fueled factory stuff when we've done all that. I just had quite a sort out. I didn't film it, unfortunately. I should have. I've just had a bit of a sort out with all the stacks of what I need to process. A bit of a clean up. I have to go and get some keys cut shortly, and then I'm going to be sharpening all of my chains for the factory because I've got none left, and Peter from Fuelwood is coming down either tomorrow or Wednesday to have a bit of a tune-up of the Fuelwood factory, so I'll make sure I film that and we'll see how quickly we can get it. I don't want to make it so quick that none of the components have a lifetime, but just a little bit of a tune-up and potentially change the sprocket just might help. I need to order a full chisel chain for the factory also, so something I probably should have done before Peter came down, but Peter only rang me last week and said, I'm delivering stuff nearby, can I pop in? And I said, yeah, no problem. So I didn't have a chance to do that. perfect Palax stuff. Nice straight, no limbs. There's also some lovely factory stuff in there as well. Go. Second load of the day in. I didn't film the first lot. We did get one load in already, and there is one more, possibly two to come. Let's jump up on here. Oh, it's big kids. It's school holiday, so Christian's got his little boy in with him. Right, so I'm just nipping out to get some keys cut. And then when I get back, I want to start doing some chain sharpening. So stay tuned if you want to see the Oregon chain sharpener in action. Yeah, like I said, I want to just get them real tickled up and get them nice and sharp for tomorrow or Wednesday. I don't know what day is coming yet. Make sure all tip top, make sure the bars are all right, and then we can really concentrate on the processor itself and get that as fast as possible. So if we can make it fast with those chains, then it'll potentially be even faster with a full chisel chain. So that's my plan anyway. So yeah, I'd just like to apologise for no video last week. It is Monday. I'm going to try and get this video edited tonight and get it up for Tuesday's slot. And then whatever we do with Peter tomorrow or Wednesday will be the Friday video. Welcome all new subscribers. We normally do a video every Tuesday and Friday, or at least try and get one out on one of them days. Being the summer, it's a bit slow at the moment. There's not a lot going on, so I don't want to bore you with bad content as such. I'd rather wait and bring something actually half interesting to you. So yeah, welcome all new subscribers. I think quite a few people have come over from Hometown Acres YouTube channel. So yeah, Hometown Acres went over to a guy over there. He's done a few videos with him. I do watch him from time to time, but he's just got a new Penosa X-shape splitting machine, just like the Splitter 400, and quite a few comments on there mentioned my channel, the Oak Farm Firewood channel. So thank you very much if that's you. Thanks for getting the channel out there anyway. Like they were saying, you know, mine is like that, but just automated as well. I think what they're doing the right thing for getting the right size wood, but they're not putting very big wood through it, and also they're having to manually move from their conventional processor across to the splitter. I'm sure they could potentially, so I think that flip tray, they could bring that processor in more and let the rings roll straight down into the Penosa, and that would eliminate someone moving the rings manually. But yeah, no, it looks like a great machine. I'm glad it's working for them. It's funny how one big channel shows something and it all goes mad, and people realise how good the X-shape is, really, the X-shape splitting wedge is. So yeah, once again guys, thank you if it was you for mentioning the channel. Saw quite a few thumbs up and likes on that comment, and definitely got a few subscribers from it, so yeah, really appreciate it. I haven't actually seen one of the Penosas in person. They're Italian. I do know someone that has got one. Shout out to Stephen if you're watching. I've only really seen the Posh and the Fuelwood stuff. There is also another make, Bindenberg, that do one, but I haven't seen one of them in person either. They're a German make, very well built. Yeah, for automation, you've got to go for the now 770 from Posh, or you've got to go for the, I think it's 415 Vario from Posh, or you've got to go for the Fuelwood factory. So there's not a lot of automated machines out there. Oh, of course, yeah, I forgot. Got the Plezzato, or Pezzato, I forgot what they're called. They're Italian as well. Now they are a serious machine. They're pretty much custom built to everyone, I think, what they want. You kind of go to them and say, I want this section, I want this section to bolt onto this section, and they'll make it happen. But they are just huge. I mean, you can't get a compact one of those. It just takes up like a whole barn, where mine is in 20 foot by 40 foot. I mean, you could probably put it in a 10 foot by 40 foot bay. That's not including the timber deck though, because obviously the timber deck is outside. But yeah, mine, I believe, is the most compact automated machine out there. So if you haven't seen it, go back to some of my other videos, and yeah, see the Fuelwood factory in action. Second half of that video looked alright. Some of you may have seen this before, but I like to get that blade at about 45 degrees, so you're always over the blade when you're moving the weight. Like if I was just to have it here, it would be quite unstable when you're unloading, and then same again if you had the blade facing the trailer, it would be unstable going over there. So at 45 degrees you're always on the blade itself. And it's pretty stable really, even when you get a full grab full. It's only an 8-tonner. I think it actually weighs closer to 9. The grab itself weighs about half a ton, so it's one well built grab. Quite a few people have been commenting, where'd you get the grab from? And I did reply in the comment section, but if you missed that, it is a JB Equipment grab, which is built in the UK. JB Equipment, they're a good make. I think they're good value for money. They're really well built. They're slightly cheaper than the big brands, but I think the build quality is just as good. So you're not paying for the you're not paying for the brand money. That's a bit big, that can go over there. But you are still paying for strength. So yeah, it's a JB equipment, and they call this one the Bear Claw. They do a selector grab, which is more for construction, and then they also do like a log grab, which is more of a standard grab. This is great for brash and sticks, and you can also use it for selecting rocks as well. I should think it's definitely strong enough. But I like the fact if you pick up wood in the woodland, you're not picking up a load of dirt because it all falls through the fingers. I've got my keys cut, so after we've unloaded this, we're going to start on sharpening some chains. I'll show you how I do it, and then you guys can let me know in the comments below whether you think it's right or wrong. Seems to work fairly well for me. Come on, log. I'm trying to get rid of that log. There we go. Got it falling out halfway through the lift. One more to come after this, and there may be another load, but I think it's all a bit too bendy and knotty, and I think they're just going to chip it. If I'm honest, I'm not that keen on paying firewood prices for the nasty stuff. So now they've got a chipper, they may as well make it in some nice G50 chip and get some good money from it that way. All this is going to make some good firewood. I'd love to go into winter with both sides of the track absolutely full, but I know for a fact cash flow is going to restrict that a little bit. We're just going to have to invest in timber as soon as the money starts coming in September, or September, before it starts to get too wet again. I just don't want to be running out of timber. But cash flow's been a funny one this year, as I said in my previous video. Normally it's a little bit better on the wholesale front. Luckily the campgrounds have kind of kept us afloat, and the pizza guys, but apart from that, it's been very, very quiet. So it's always a fun time sorting out cash flow in the summer. Only downside for financing and borrowing money. You've got to find that money all year round. Yes, you can buy your kit outright and not get finance, but I wouldn't be here where I am today with the machinery I've got without finance at the end of the day. So that done. Right guys, so I may as well take this chain off because I know this is just starting to get blunt, and if I'm going to do them, I might as well do them all. So I'm going to just whip this chain off, and then I've just had a count up. This will make 9, so I've got 9 chains in total, and I haven't actually fully used my first chains I got off this machine a year ago. So keeping on top of them, I'm not hitting any foreign objects, and not grinding too much of the tooth off when you're sharpening. You don't actually use up your chains that often. Got a phone call now. Hi, Peter. Hello. Hiya, you all right? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. No problem at all. Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. That's fine. All right, brilliant. Cheers. Bye. Well, as you may have just heard, that was Peter from Fuelwood, and he's coming down tomorrow. So we're gonna, Woody, can you not make a mess? Thank you. Good boy. I'm gonna have a bit of a tidy up, clean up this bit here, give the machine a blow down again, although I'll be honest, my machines are I keep my machines pretty clean anyway, as you can see. I'm gonna give it all a bit of a blow down. I'm gonna give it a grease up, clean underneath the conveyor. I'm gonna change that bin. This one hasn't long been changed. Pick up all these logs, and then we'll be tip top ready to go. I'll even change the sawdust extractor, so I haven't got to faff around with anything. I'll also get a trailer load of logs down. I'll get a trailer load of logs down and get that all loaded up, and then we haven't got to stop. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you how I set up the Oregon. Which one is it again? Got a model number anywhere? Here it is. The Oregon 620-230. I do believe the 230 means volts. But it's a 620 and it's the kind of newer one. When you pull this down, it compresses this piston at the back. Hopefully you can see all that. So when you pull this down, it compresses this piston at the back, which is like a little hydraulic ram. Do you see that in there? So as you can see guys, this little ram here at the back, you compress that, and that in turn pushes oil down this pipe into this little cylinder here, little ram, into this little ram here. And as you can see, when I pull this down, it tightens up. So the older ones, every time you pulled the chain through, you just have to tighten up a little chuck. This automatically squeezes the chain and stops it from moving every time you pull it down. So quite handy. As you can see, when I pull this down, it tightens up. So the older ones, every time you pulled the chain through, you just have to tighten up a little chuck. This automatically squeezes the chain and stops it from moving every time you pull it down. So quite handy. So that being said, I am going to set up my chain. I don't know what I was doing last. So I set mine 25 degrees on this bit here. And then 7.5 here. So it's in between 5 and 10. We'll take our first chain. So I do all of my chains. Oh, I was doing a different chain. There you go. Yeah. So you can do lots of different size chains on here. Okay, so you adjust this whether you're on the left hand side or the right hand side of the chain. So you bring that right out so you don't hit it with the disc itself. I can't find my abrasive pad thing to take the edge off of that, but never mind. I'll live with it. So I'll do it all with it off first, bring it down, and that is touching, I don't know if you can see on this little camera or not, but it is touching right on top of the tooth. So obviously I was doing a different chain last, and it was a lot more worn or used up than this one. So all you got to do is just turn this dial here, and don't forget to pull the chain back onto it, because that is your datum, that's your point. You can see there it's just touching the tip, and then it kind of slides past on its own, but there is friction. So that's just touching, which is what I like. You don't have to take a lot of product off, you don't have to take a lot of metal off, you're literally just touching up the blades, right? So I'm going to take my glasses, put my glasses on. We're going to turn it on, and we're going to just have a little try first. Right. So as you can see, the tooth does heat up, but the stuff that's going black is only the kind of sawdust debris that is on the chain. So yes, it heats up and goes black, but the actual chain hasn't discoloured. So it's getting warm, but it's not taking the hardness off of it. Now that is quite a good little edge on there. I'm going to try and get an in-depth video. So hopefully you can see that there. It's slightly discoloured inside the tooth itself. But so as you can see, it's got a nice side tooth on there. That's nice and sharp. And so is the top. So I am literally just taking off the edge. I'll try and film some doing like this. Same tooth, obviously. We're gonna go to the next one and you'll see how much product I'm actually taking off. Nice and easy, you don't have to push down too hard and too fast. Literally just let the wheel do its thing. You can kind of see there. I'm struggling to get a good view on this. I think it'll be a bit easier when we do the other side. That's a good angle. So you've got a good side tooth, a good top. Now remember, this is semi-chisel chain, so it's not going to be pointy like a chainsaw chain. So that's how pointy you obviously get a chainsaw chain. I'm sure you guys know this. So it's got a slightly round edge. From brand new, that's what they're like. So we're going to go ahead and carry on and do the rest of this chain, and I'll show you on this camera how it all looks. What I tend to do, I tend to rest my kind of hand on fingers on here, put a finger on here. Don't apply pressure because it will push it forward, but just make sure it doesn't ride up or anything like that. And make sure it's basically, I'm pushing it down. Because the bars close up, we want to make sure the tooth is all the way down inside them grippers. So that's quite, I can't just leave it here like that. I don't mind getting a few more up there before we move back, but they may all just collapse on me. Timber. It'll take long to process that. Whoa. That plate was doing quite a lot. Trying to use gnarly bits of tip rod before rather than nice stuff. Couple of bearers. Out in the mud since we keep getting bloody rain. Cool. Recognise it when the old blade doesn't go down. Just trying to keep an eye out. That's all I can do really. Got a log behind me. Well, it's amazing what can change in a day. We didn't have hardly any timber there this morning. We've had 3 loads in. It's about 30 tonne. So just over what a truck would bring in, like a lorry, an Arctic truck. They typically be, oh dear, don't want that breaking a window. They typically bring in about 25 tonne. 25 to 26 tonne. No, I don't want that breaking the window, so. Put that up. This and I can get back to my chain sharpening. Now I probably do need a new disc. Quite a lot of you said, is it a CNC disc or something or other? Might get one of those for it. I believe they give a better edge, as well as don't heat up the tip as much. But I'm yet to throw away a processing chain. So Granted, I've got about 10 to 12 chains, I think, but I'm still using the first. I think 4 came with it, so I'm still using all 4 of them first chains I got, and then I bought quite a few more. Old lump. Yeah, we've got a nice little bit to go out now. Like I said, it'd be nice if that was like all the way up to there and the same again this side. But cash flow, cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. We have got the Unimog and the new trailer coming down to pick up a load of logs soon. So that will get the rest of the stuff up to the second depot. So you want to make sure you get down to the bottom of the tooth. Like that. And then I always give the top bit just a nice final in and out, and it gets nice and sharp. So when I'm pushing down at the bottom, I'm making sure the tooth is nicely ground out for the chips to exit the tooth as quickly as possible. I'm actually taking a little bit too much off here, so I literally just want to be touching the tooth like that. Okay. You can see when I'm at the bottom of the chain, there's a lot of sparks because I'm taking off material. But when you're actually coming down through the chain, there isn't a lot of sparks. So I'm only just taking that face off and grinding that face away. Hence why I've had these chains for just over a year. And I know one chain hasn't done this, but I'm on 67,000 cuts now, I believe. So between the 9 chains I've got, we've done 67. Don't have to push too hard, let the grinding blade just... I do have to really clean off that that wheel. You can see there the tooth isn't heating up. Don't get me wrong, it's warm, but it's all the debris that's on the chain. Last tooth. Leaves a little burr, knock that burr off, and that is a nice sharp tooth. So I've done all this side now, just double check, yeah. So back to the start. So what we do is I do all of them this side first, and then you're not changing this section around all the time, and it also means all your chains are the same. So we hang them. I like to hang a chain, otherwise I get all jumbled up. And we'll just slowly go through these. I'm probably going to put a time lapse on, otherwise I'll bore the hell out of you. I'm bored already. But what I do, turn it off, let the wheel slow down and stop, because each chain is different to how much we've taken off. Okay, so we come down. So actually this one is pretty much, it's actually perfect, funnily enough. That's typical, isn't it? But that being said, let's find a tooth. This is very much worn out. This is probably going to have another two or three sharpens. So there's a gap between. So while it's off, I edge it forward, obviously lift it up, otherwise it's compressing. You better turn this wheel, pull it forward, try it, pull it forward, try it, pull it forward, just touching, tiny bit more, perfect. That's just going to take enough off. You don't have to take much material off. Firstly, that heats up the tooth itself a lot because you're taking a lot off and you're ramming it through. You're wasting your tooth because there's no need. You're just sharpening that front edge. One thing I will say with that is if you've hit a foreign object, i.e. rock or metal, and it's done a lot of damage to the chain, obviously you'll have to take off more than normal. Just like you're sharpening a chainsaw chain. You'll have to go for longer and get more material off to get you back to that flat face and sharp edge. In that instance, if it's really bad, I'd probably do it in 2 hits, take a bit off and then creep it forward and take a bit more off rather than taking off a crap load just in one pass. Keep on top of it. I mean, these are blunt because they've been used, but you just don't need to reprofile the whole tooth. You just need to clean up that front. So let's, I might as well crack on with this one. So I can get away with 2, possibly 3 sharpens before I have to touch them rakers. Because they've got so much power on these, it can rip out quite a lot of product at a time. And if you look at a new one, there is a significant amount of difference between the raker and the tooth. So in theory, you get it down to factory on the first one, and then you use up the tooth a couple of times, and it's still taking product, but just not as much. So, yeah, this has probably only got another sharpen in it, maybe another one after that. I don't know how tight you can get these down, but they're not that expensive, so it's not worth trying to get too much out of them. It's probably one of the OG chains that came with the processor. Another reason why I have my hand here like that, you pull it through, let this arm flop down, and then this rests on it and keeps the tooth back against this plate and gives you a nice strong datum. And then this obviously comes down, squeezes it all together, and that doesn't move whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? It won't even move forward because it's been crimped. I just keep my hand here and it all just rests on it. I can feel that's a sharp tooth, so we've done that one. So there we go, another chain done on this side. So it does take a little while, especially when you've got 10 of them to do. Let's be honest, it probably takes a minute and a half to do to do one half. So it's 3 minutes a chain. It's half an hour job to do all these chains really. And that's without doing the rakers. So this one I can see is going to need to tickle on the rakers. So I do all this first, and then I go along with a flat file and see how deep they are. See, this one, we've just gone from a very well used chain to a less used chain. So if I just came down now with a working wheel, that would just grind out and ruin that whole tooth, because it's pretty much sitting in the middle of the tooth. Now, we'll just work it back, keep pulling it. It's just touching, that's nice. A little bit more. But don't want to take too much product off. See, that's not quite touching enough. You just want, yeah. I like it so if you really force it, it almost slips down the side of it. But if the wheel's moving, it just takes that edge off. Right, I'm gonna put a time lapse on, otherwise I'm gonna use up all my battery and memory card. Right guys, so I've finished all the chains. This is the last one. Obviously I've done this side, so we're going to switch it over. So we're going to just loosen off this bottom knob here, and we're going to basically do the opposite on the other side. So we're on 25 there, we need to go to 25 there, and we're at 7.5 on there. We're going to go exactly the same on the other side. 25, and we're going to have to shift the whole thing back. There we go, back to 7.5, get that all lined up. 25, it's a bit hard with one hand. There we go, we're not changing the angle this way, so all we have to do now is pull it forward, and as you see, because this is quite a thin paddle, and we've been working on this left side as such, when you go to the right side, it slips past it. So all we have to do is move this across, and you want to get it more over the tooth side than you think, because this wheel can come down, and if you had it sticking out this far, it potentially could touch. So there we go, it locks all the way back against the arm now when we pull it down, and there we go. So it's just right, just touching, a little bit of resistance. We'll turn it on and do all this side, and then we'll get through all these chains. Look, 10 chains, and then that will sort us out for a little while. I've got 2 bars to sort out. But I did speak to Peter. He is coming down tomorrow, and we're going to have a sort out with the processor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be quite interesting. We're going to put a brand new bar and a brand new chain on it, and go through, some relatively the same size logs. We're going to get the machine warmed up, and then we're going to do a time trial as it is now, and then I believe we're going to change a few things, do another speed trial, and then we're going to change the sprocket for a smaller sprocket apparently, and that will give it more torque. So we'll try that, and then there might be some other things we can do to it as well. So we're going to time trial it all the time, and if we do something and it doesn't make any difference, or it makes it slower, we know. Even if it's half a second quicker, it's always going to help. Like I was saying to Peter, if I'm dropping rings in the Splitter 400 and I've got it on the fastest settings, you can change how fast that machine works. If I'm dropping rings in, you can do one hell of a lot of wood in a very short space of time. When it's on the wood cutter, you can still do a lot, but you're relying on, there's a lot of motions. The log comes through, the grippers pinch, then you saw, the arm goes up, the arm goes down, it all happens again. That's where the time is taken, not necessarily with the cutting. The cutting you can probably get a little bit quicker, but it's the gripping, moving, all of that can take a second or two, and if we can speed that up, that's going to improve the whole thing really. So I'm going to get the rest of these chains sorted out. You would have seen a previous video of me dressing a bar. If you haven't seen that video, I'll try and add it in the description below, so check that one out. That is going to be it for today's video, guys. If you are enjoying the content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Make sure you ring the little bell and you'll be notified when the next video is out of tuning the Woodcutter 400. I'll see you guys in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.